Hello, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for coming back, and as always, huge massive thank you for the support. So today I'm coming back again with this kit from magazine 77, and this is Nautical Moments, and this is a special message. So we've got the 1, 2, 3, 4 nice size toppers there. You've got your sort of printed sheet with your sort of writing on. You've got this beautiful foiled cardstock, and then you've got your printed paper with the message in a bottle on the back. So I thought what I'd do today is do a stepper card. What I am doing is, so I've done a template for this one like I've done with some of the others now. And I'll put this photo up on Pinterest and Facebook as well, just in case you guys want to keep it. What I'm trying to do is sort of get a collection of templates together and try and come up with 20 or 30 different ways to cut a piece of 6x12 cardstock, and that's sort of my goal, and then I'll do a video on that. So I am still working towards it, but it's work in progress. The next one I think I want to try and do template for would be that window theatre box one, that fold there, that I did before, and but I don't know if it'll be this kit, because this Nautical Moments kit, a lot of the toppers are quite big, so it may not be with this kit. So I did find another new fold today, another sort of form of a shutter card. Actually I found two, but I haven't worked out the measurements on the second one yet. Okay, so we're going to put the card in. I'm just taking it over the 1 inch mark, so it's going to measure there, and this is just for a normal stepper card. So we're going to cut from 1 to 7, and then I'm going to turn it over, do exactly the same. So put that to 7, and then I can cut down to the 1. And this is quite a cute and easy, really easy stepper card. It must be easy if I can remember how to do it, because I don't remember a lot of measurements very easily. Okay, so we've done our cutting, and what I'm going to do, remember I've got the smaller boards, so although it's not really going to make a difference on this card, but I'm going to score at 1 inch just down to that cut line, and 2 inch down to the cut line, and 7 inch down to the cut line. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to do exactly the same on the other side. So 1, 2 and 7. And then if I just bring a ruler in just so I can see where the line is, and I'm going to score at 6 inches in between that line. So I just need to find that groove. Just using the ruler to help me. And that is all we need to do. So excuse me. And then what I'm going to do is just put that ruler back so I can find it in a moment, is just ease these scores in. It doesn't matter that we've scored one way or the other, because it just means that the card is going to bend. And we're just going to go easing those in. And once you get to the point where that is going in, that's going down, that's going down. What I can then do is come in with this bone folder. You may prefer to use your other one. I just find I get a really crisp fold with this bone porcelain bone folder. And I'm just going to give those a really good squish down so they're all nice and flat, and then we're going to end up with our lovely little stepper card. Okay, so we are working in gold. Sorry, I'm going to crinkle just while I get a couple of these 6x6 mats out. And the reason why I buy the 6x6 mats is just that I have got loads of the A4 sheets, but it's just because most of the cards that I'm using at the moment are 6x6 or slightly smaller. I just don't have those odd bits of card waiting around. If you do a lot of 6x6 cards and then maybe a DL card, you're probably better off getting the A4 piece, because you will get those two pieces out of one A4 sheet of card. But I haven't really done any DL cards for quite some time, so okay. So I'm going to start. I'm going to do 3 strips that are 2 notches under 1 inch. So just make sure it's straight. So I've got 1. I've got 2. And I've got 3. And this piece is going to be too small to go on there, so we will save that for another time. But these 3 pieces, I want to cut 1 to 2 notches under the 6, because I'm going to pop that going along the length of the bottom of the card. And then these 2 I'm going to do, if that moves out of the way so I can cut it nice and straight, 2 notches under 5, because we've got that step in there. That's going to be slightly shorter. Let's get rid of that one, and then again 2 notches under the 5 for the other side. And then that one will go in that side there. And then I just need to do a piece for here, which is going to be 2 notches under 4. Again, I'm going to save that piece, and 2 notches under 5. And this piece is large enough for saving for cutting out sentiments, or any borders you want to do, and that's going to fit nicely onto there. Okay, so then I'm going to come to this cardstock, and I think what I want to do first of all is cut this to, no, I'm not going to do that because that might waste some. Let's just go for it. So I'm going to want 3 pieces. Well, actually I'm going to do 2 pieces at 4 notches under the 1, so 3/4 effectively, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, and I will trim those down. Now I do need another piece to go along the bottom. I'm just thinking, which way do I want those to go? So those, if those are on the end, let's see, I want to take a piece out of here. I think I will do. So what I'm going to do is take 3/4 of an inch. Make sure I've taken it off the bottom half, and I will just go all the way along. I don't think that's going to interfere too much with my images, and then I'm going to cut that down to 5 3/4. And I think that's probably not going to mess too much with the patterns. I am going to cut these down, so again these need to be 4 3/4. So I am taking quite a bit of this painted piece off the top. Just going to be pretty much off on that second one. Those are ideal for saving if you've got a sentiment you want to stamp onto, because it's matte-tastic. You can do that. You can stamp and emboss. You can they foil really lovely as well, so that's always fun to do. So let's bring this piece back in, and I need a piece for this center, and that's going to be 3 3/4. So we've still got that massive piece left over. I think I'm just going to have the writing and the sandy paper, and then we're going to go to 4 3/4, and that should be the matte perfect for our middle piece. Looks like it's all looking okay, so let's go ahead and assemble. So, and the glues I'm going to be using as usual In this one I've got the Kalau Tacky Glue, and in this one I've got the Kalau All Purpose. I did buy mine from Crafter's Companion. They had a good deal on. This glue is the same as the Hunkydory construction glue, so it might be worth just checking with both to see which is going to give you the better deal, and obviously just go for the cheapest. I think in the link I did put the Crafter's Companion one, but it's always worth checking because I've just put the regular one on. Sometimes they have a deal on, especially on a Thursday if they've got a cartload. Sometimes it's in cartload and you might get a special price. So if you do like the glues that I'm using, you know, don't just sort of go by the link. The link will show you where they are in the shop, but you might be able to get them cheaper than that by shopping a bit savvy in that same shop. So just, especially on a Thursday, like I say, it's worth checking the cartload shows to see if it is on and offer that day. I did watch the HSN sort of preview for Crafter's Companion yesterday. They have got some really lovely dies coming up, especially like the cutting dies that they are bringing. But unfortunately I did spend rather a lot in spellbinders again this month. So I bought the caboodle, the club caboodle. There was quite a few things in this month that I liked. I mean, I've been trying to get the embossing folders anyway, because I'm just looking for new things in my embossing folders. I've had these embossing folders for since I started, really, so 10 years more. So I was just, you know, trying to refresh that, because sometimes all you need is a change to your embossing folder, you know, just to add that bit of to freshen something old up, you know. So and they did have, this is a Crafter's Companion dotty tape pen. Again, Hunkydory have their own, worth checking to see whether theirs are cheaper. And I'm only putting it on here because this is the paper. Yeah, they had Spellbinders had a really lovely embossing folder in March, so a 3D one. So I signed up for just the embossing folder, the 3D one. There's a sort of normal 2D one and a 3D one. So and last month it was sewing, so I just got the embossing folder because I thought I mean, it was lovely. It's just all like little needles and threads. So I will be able to use that, so I kept that on. And then this month it's all sort of tropical flamingos and parrots and things. And I kind of thought, let's go, I think we'll go with that one on that side. There was quite a few clubs that I liked. I liked both the embossing folders, and I liked the little die, the small die of the month, the big die. I liked the better press. So although it's quite a lot of money because it's £120, but you do get, I believe it's 10 sets, 10 clubs of the month for that, which works out at £12 each, because there's stencil, there's wax melts, and you also get, this month there's 2 free gifts. There's also a stencil, an extra stencil to colour in, I think it's a lotus flower, and I think there's some better press dies as well, like sentiment dies. So for the price of buying 2 or 3 of those clubs, you sort of, I was pretty much most of the way there if I'd bought all the things I wanted. So I thought I might as well have the caboodle and have those extra gifts as well, because they were nice. Okay, so let's bring that in. So that's how that's looking at the moment. We've got that all beautiful, all decorated. I quite like that as it is. But I'm planning on using this large topper. I don't know if I'm going to use the big red and white frame, but I know this is nearly 6 inches or 6-inch frame top to bottom. So I thought if it's going to go on any card, it would probably be okay on here. So let me just take these frames out. Oh. I was planning on making cards yesterday, but I ended up, because like the front garden there's a big like hedge bush, you know, it was getting a bit long, and I know the neighbours will complain, so not Shirley, the other way, because they have to walk up and down the path. You remember, I don't know if you remember, I told you we share a sort of path. But yeah, so I went out and did that, and then my hands were like, my hands go really funny if I have to do something for that requires gripping for a long period of time. So like with the hedge trimmer, you've got to hold the handle in, and you've got to hold the safety in as well. And if I do that for, you know, any length of time, 10 minutes or so, then my hands cramp up, and they don't really grip very well after that. Like I came in and had a drink, and I was just carrying it into the living room, and it's like, you know, like you see people with Parkinson's that are really shaky. That's what my hands do. And it takes about a day, sometimes 2 days for them to get over that. But luckily I've not been too bad today, but I think that's just because I didn't do an awful lot, because Donna says that there's birds nesting in the left hand side because it's quite thick, and she goes out and feeds them, so I wasn't allowed to disturb them. So I just did the tops off and the front and sides, just to keep the neighbours happy. So that's probably why they're not as bad as they usually are. Okay, so I think I'm gonna, if I put that on there, then I'm probably going to make that a little bit too long. I wonder if I can just chop that off. Let's make it like an archway. So I'm going to chop off the bottom of this. And I'm not really worried about chopping it off, because if I didn't use it, it would probably sit in a box for ages and may not even be used at all. We'll keep that bit because that's quite nice. I can't pick it up. There we go. And then that might mean that we can bring that down a little bit, so that fits on the, it's just got a little piece on there. We could go, no, we couldn't go. If that was a little wider, we could have gone behind there. I suppose we could go behind one. No, let's just do it like how we were going to do it. And then I think what I will do is find something to ground those on the bottom. Okay, so this is how we are going. So I think the easiest thing to do is going to be to pop this one down first. So I'm going to use my 1mm foam pads. I'm going to put a decent amount on because this is going to support the card. That's maybe 2 more at the top. Got a little half one there. Let's use that. Use that one. Yeah, that feels good. When I put my hand on it, all I'm doing is just feeling to see if there's any sort of really big saggy areas, because obviously if this goes through the post, then any areas that sort of sag, they could get us a bit of a crush injury, if you like, sort of crush squashing injury, and then when the card arrives it may not look as nice as it could have. Okay, so let's just move that one out of the way. I'm going to put some tacky glue on here just to give me a little bit of wiggle room time. And it also does mean that if in the heat, because obviously if you're in the USA you might not know, yesterday, actually not yesterday, 3 days ago we were freezing our backsides off because the weather thought it was winter, and 3 days later it's barbecue weather. So, but we're British, so we can adapt really quickly to the weather. We've learned you take advantage. If the sun's shining, you just go out and make hay while the sun shines. I think we probably, you know, we do definitely do that as a nation. Although they should probably change it to go out and make a barbecue while the sun shines. But, yeah. We don't really do barbecues because of the dogs. And also, there's only 2 of us, you know what I mean? It's like, we're, my sister's going to have one in the summer, she says. And she's sorted her garden out. My big sister, the one that's Anthony's mum. But we'll see. She's been working hard. Well, she hasn't. Anfield, her other son, he's been working hard on getting the pond set up because they want to move it over, so they got more of a patio sort of outside the front door. They have got a patio, it's just not very big, and obviously now Anfield's got his little girl, he wants her to be able to go out there and on a walker or on her trikes, because at the moment there's you've got to step up to the patio, so it might be a bit of a drop if she were to go off. Okay, so do I want to pop this on so that I know where it's going to go? Yes, let's just use that as a guide. And we're just going to pop that down, and then this should come off quite nice and easy because we have got that. I don't think I want to pop that back on. I'm hoping those pads are not showing. I will check in a second. We possibly could come along and glue that back on if we wanted to. Let's just check. So I have got a little bit of the pad showing there. What I'll do, I'll wait till that glue dries. Actually, I might need to. I'll leave that for now. And what I'll do, I'll wait till that glue dries and then I'll dust that with my anti-static brush, and it will still have that support there then, so I'm not going to worry about that too much. It's not really visible, it's just going to be a question of just making sure that all the stick is gone, so that if it does get pressed down it's not going to stick to the rest of the card. So let's have a look. So we've got a just to say, and put that one there, and then maybe I think I want to go with this circle one there. We've got a no matter how far apart we may be, you're forever close to my heart. We've got a happy birthday in this same sort of wooden decoration, and we've got a special message to for a special someone, but I think that really ought to go with the sort of boat or the message in a bottle. So I'm just going around nipping off these little proud bits. I am going to use these to hide the ends, but like I say, you could go back in with that bit we've cut off and move it up if you wanted to. There we go. So I think what I'll do is come over there. So So let's take a little piece of this, and I am going to just pop that on there, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue there. Let's see if we can get the top off here, and then we'll pop that onto there. That should be fine. And then I'm going to do the same over here. Let's just cut ourselves a small piece. Okay. So I'm thinking I'm going to go right about like so. Add a little bit of glue into there. And then I'm going to pop that one coming across there. I think that's around about where we want that to be. And I'm going to come in with gold gems on this one, I think. Let's pop some in here. And I'm going to go with 2 on this side. Let's go for a medium. And slightly smaller, and then I'm going to do 3 on this side, and we'll go with a larger one, and one about the same size, which I think might be this one. Come on now, yeah, it's about the same size. Just slightly smaller than that one, and let's have a look at this one maybe. Yeah. So that's over. Okay. So it might be worth just keeping an eye on where you're putting your backing foam. Well, like I didn't do, but like I say, I think I can fix that quite easily. Once it's all dry, I'll go over that with the anti-static powder, and then it's still going to have that support there. It's not run over a lot, to be fair, but it might be worth just maybe even just putting the foam on the edge of your card so you know you're not going over. But that is my first idea for card number 1. So let's set that, actually not, just move you down just a little bit because these are a bit further apart. Okay, let's set that to the side, and I'm just going to get set up for card number 2. Okay, so for card number 2, I thought I would do a Z fold card because I haven't done one in a while. So I've got my usual piece of 6x12 300 GSM, and then I've just got an offcut from another card that I did, and I believe this is 1.5. So it's 1.5 by 12. So we'll use up those bits. So I'm going to score at 3 and at 6. And we'll just give those a fold over and a fold back. Again, I'll go over that with my other folder in a second. And then I'm going to do exactly the same on here, 3 and 6. And again, we should be able to just fold that over, fold that one back. So let's just neaten up those score lines. And again, 1 and here. Okay. So all you're going to do is just turn that around, and then this will go on to our card like so, and then obviously once it's all glued down, it will fold as a normal 6x6 card. So let's do some cutting and decorating. I'll just move that out of the way. So I'm going to need, sorry, I'm going to rustle again, 2 pieces of gold card. So I need to do a piece for the back, which I am doing my usual 2 notches under the 6, and 2 notches under the 6. And pop that in, and that's going to fit in there quite nicely. And then I need to do a piece for this side here, which is going to be 2 notches under the 3 and 2 notches under the 6. And just get rid of that. So that's that piece for there. And then I need to do some decoration for here. So for this piece here, it's going to be 1.5, let's do it this side, minus 2 notches. And then we'll take 2 notches off that. So it's the 6 inch, but minus 2 notches. And that should go quite nicely onto that long part. And then this one, if I cut that to 1.5 minus 2 notches, stay still. And then these 2 pieces are 3 inches each. So 2 notches under the 3. And hopefully I should get 2 out of here. 2 notches under 3. Okay, so that is all of our gold. And then I think for the inside of, well, not the inside, for the biggest piece here at the back, what I'm going to do is bring in the insert that I printed. Let's do that away a second. What I'm going to do is just, these do tend to cut a little better than the other insert papers do, because this is a slightly thicker paper, I think. But the trimmer likes it, so that is all we need to worry about. But I'm going to cut that at 5 3/4 squares. I've got a nice little piece of paper to make notes on. And if I bring this piece out, that should fit quite nicely onto there. And then I'm going to bring in this foiled piece, and I am going to tend to this way around. So I need, doing a piece for this 3 inch front, so I'm going to go 2 3/4. Actually, let's see. So 2 3/4. So I've just umming and ahhing about where I was going to cut that, because I didn't know if I wanted to try and save the length in that one. And then this is going to be 5 3/4. Okay, so that's going to be that side bit there. And then I'm going to bring in the paper again. Now what I am going to do, and this may seem strange, but I want to try and keep the image of the bottle, so I'm just lining up that one there. I'm just going to check that that is, yeah, we'll do it, we'll go for it. So, and I'm going to, so this is my least favourite of those pictures. So I'm going to do 2 pieces for this side bit. So I'm going to go to 1 1/4. And I want another one of those, 1 1/4. Checking I've done that one the same size as that. Yeah. And then they need to be 2 3/4. And 2 3/4. Okay, so that's there. So then, so that's the piece that's going on there and there, and then we need a piece for here. Now I don't think I'm going to do it in this same one, mainly because then it's going to be going the different way with the stripes. So I think what I'm going to do is, I don't know whether I want to bring a bit of that writing back in. Let's bring a bit of that writing back in. So we're going to go 1 1/4. And then we're going to take 5 3/4. Which I'm going to turn that around so that I've got the darker writing. There we go. So those are the little bits. They're a bit small to use, so I will just throw those away. Okay, let's do some assembling. So I think we'll save those bits until we assemble those onto the card. Over there. And we'll go with the card first. So. Okay, and we just pop some of this tacky glue on the corners. Good press down. And then again with this one, because it is the paper, I'm going to use the dots in the corner and not the tacky glue, because of that water content can make paper buckle as it dries, but the all-purpose will not, because it's got alcohol based in it. Please don't try and drink it. I don't even know if you could. Okay, so I'm just getting that into position. We can give that a good press down. So we've got that lighthouse there. And it will come along on this side. And put that on there. Down. Down, and then we'll pop this on as well. Now if you were doing a wider border, it might be worth, you know, with this Z, it might be worth just checking where that's going to go. So if you were going to do a 2-inch or 2.5-inch Z piece, you might not want to put all this card underneath. You might want to sort of have a piece just here and then have that going across, you know. So it's up to you on how you want to do that, but that's, as it's standing, is a perfectly nice card. So then I'm just going to decide where I want that to go. So ideally it would go on the bottom, but then that's going to hide that shell. And the reason why I say ideally is just because the insert has got a white line coming around it, so we will find a way to hide that. And also I don't want my, I mean, I'm going to use a topper and I don't want that to hide everything else. So what I'm going to do is pop a little bit of tacky glue on there. I know it's going onto the paper here, but even if it warps that paper you wouldn't see it because it's underneath. And then I'm going to do straight across there, because these are the 2 points where it's going to stick to the card. Okay. No, stay nice and flat. And then what I'm going to do is just make sure I've got that card flat. I'm popping it across, just making sure it's straight on the ends. Just give that a minute or so just to take, and then that will open with your card. And just because you've got that tacky glue there, just make sure that doesn't slip. So give that a second before you start working on it. What I can do is work on these layers. So I'll just pop this piece onto here. Come on, tacky glue. There we go. And I think we'll go with the black writing on the left. It's sort of, there is the word Y there, so it is the right way up. Can't see what else. There's something Y-I. Oh, don't know the rest. And then there's a waiting, the. Terrible writing. That looks like attachment. It'll be interesting if you can work out any of these words. That looks like much in the white. Right, let's put these on. I don't know if I'm going to use both of these now, having saying that, but we will put it together just in case. Again, it's the paper, so I'm just going to go nice and easy. Oops. With that glue. And that putting the all-purpose glue on the back just means I do get a little bit of time to maneuver that into position, and then once I'm happy the dots will stick that down. Just means it's not going to move anywhere before I want it to, and that's the reason why I use the tacky glue, so that it takes away some of that drying time. With the all-purpose, you have got quite a long window to make adjustments. I say quite a long window, you know, it's not hours, but it just means that if I put a little tacky glue on the corners, I can move on straight away to the next piece. Okay, so let's have a little look. Do we want to go with the seagull or the bottle? So it would be one of the smaller toppers, I think, because we've already got quite a lot of lovely things going on. Alright, let's see what this one looks like. That one's quite nice up there. Let's have a look. So just before we stick it all down, we'll just have a little play. So the beauty of having a Z fold is that you can come right over the edge, remembering of course foam pads need to be not visible. So we could have our little seagull, or we could have our message in a bottle. We've got a happy birthday, or let's just drop this one, and no matter how far apart we are, we could use that to hide some of those there. Or we could go with the ship. I'm just frightened with the ship we're going to hide all of that beautiful shell. Let's have a look. I think that fits in better with that, the ship, the lighthouse. So let's pop those back, and if I come over, you're still going to see some of that shell. Okay, decision made. Let's pop that one out. Okay, so now we can just go in with our normal glues, because this is all onto cardstock. And pop it down. I like that writing across there, that's quite nice. And I will stick these panels on as soon as I've done them. So it means you've still got room to do your writing there, and it won't be visible once it's on a shelf. Plus you can put the card out flat so that you can write on it without having to get in at an angle, which is a real pain in the backside. Okay, so I'll pop those on there. Now this one, because this is coming over like so, we can raise it up a little bit. So I'm going to come in with those 1mm foam pads. I've got some left here. But before I do that, let me grab my scissors. Hiding, just grab these little pips. Just pop a good spread along there. And this is the, no matter how far apart we, maybe you're forever close to my heart. So this, with the ship in the bottle, and sort of, it sort of could be for somebody who's flying the nest, you know, got a job abroad. I was watching this thing on the news yesterday about all these young people, and because they're all sort of remote working, they're calling it now, aren't they? Not working from home. And they're like in Portugal, so they get up, this young lady, bless her, she got up, went surfing, came back, sat outside in the sun and was working. I thought, wow, that does seem like the life. Although I don't think I could have been so far away from my family, but I don't think, you know, the young ones are more encouraged to move away, I think, these days, aren't they? Sort of go out and travel. Okay, so this one we're going to come across. I am going to use, should we use 2mm foam pads? Yes, we shall. And what I'm going to do is get stuck to it. So I want it to come over around about there, so I'm just going to put my finger there and then just bring that foam pad across. I'll actually just take the top off there, and then I know I don't want to go any further than that along. Let's not do the same thing twice in one video. I am the worst for remembering about the foam pads, and you know, if there's a gap, but there's always ways around it. You know, you can either stick something onto the back of it. I think it's going to be good on that first one for a bit of support, because that topper was coming over. So but like I say, I'll dust those down with the anti-static powder. It should be dry, well, by now actually, because there was it's the tacky glue I was waiting on, so that should be done. Let's just take those backs off. Oh, I've got another one here. There we go. And then we're going to come in with that tacky glue. All the way along. Actually, what I can do, which I didn't think about, was if I just grab another piece of that, I can just come along this top side here, because that's going to be on this bar. So we'll just give that a little bit of glue. I think that's all it's going to need. I don't think it's going to need any more than that. And then I'm going up, I'm coming over, and I can pop that down. So we're pretty much in the centre of the card, but high. I'm just going to look behind. Yes, successful. No, no pads anywhere. Okay, so the next thing we're going to need is some gems. I'm going to go with these clear ones. I could go with these ones, they would work quite nicely with it, but I haven't got any of the little tiny gold one. Well, there's one tiny gold one, so I'm not going to use that today. Possibly could get away with the glitter one, because the glitter one looks a bit like sand. But what I would say is I'm going to keep it kind of unisex, because it's nice to have cards that can go to anyone, you know. So let's go in with these, and I'm probably just going to go with the medium ones here. 1, 2. I'm going to go with another one. 1, 2, 3. And then I'm going to pop a little one down here. I'm going to pop a little one down here. And I'm going to pop 2 up there, and that should be 7, I think. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, probably should have gone with gold. I think it would have shown up better, but it's going to be nice anyway, so that's fine. Yeah, I think gold would have shown up a little better, but it probably will show up better in the photograph. Maybe it's just me looking at it, but that is that one finished. Again, like I say, you can still write in there. If you didn't want to put your insert in there, you could just do a folded insert attached to here, and then just have it like so. But that's how that will go onto a shelf, so you will see. So let me bring in that original card that we did first of all. So that is it for today. So little stepper card and a Z fold. Like I say, I haven't done a Z fold for a while, so I kind of was thinking about the cards that I haven't made for a while, just to, you know, sort of keep keeping my hand in basically, and also sort of doing that template for the stepper as well was something I do, or I do find that lately I've made quite a few steppers, like the one that I was making the other day is another stepper. So you'll see that if you go on my Pinterest at all, you will see that one before these, and then these will go on. It is a nice easy stepper, so it's nice just to sort of, you know, it's 2 cuts and a couple of folds, so I love a card like that. It's really nice and easy. But that is it for today. The other thing I just wanted to say just before I go, I am going to put a link up for my Just Giving card making challenge. Like I say, I'm coming up on 100. I think I'm on about 80 something now, off the top of my head. So I am coming up on 100, and what I've put on there is that I'm gonna make cards between now and the 2nd of March, because that will be the 1st anniversary of his passing. They did say that they would love to have the cards, so that is fantastic. So I will get my sister to take them up, so I am starting to get them ready and boxed, so whenever my sister goes up there, she can drop them in for them and they can start selling them. And I think I've got quite a few of Christmas ones there as well, so I will make sure they get all of those. And obviously we're coming up for Christmas in June or July. I know the next magazine is going to be Christmas, so and Spellbinders are doing Christmas as well in July, so there's going to be a lot of Christmas stuff there as well for them. But yeah, hopefully I can get a good amount made for them and raise a bit of money. But if you did want to donate to the Just Giving page, if you've got 50p or £1 that you don't mind sparing, I would be really grateful, because it is a really great cause, the Ostrich Foundation, and they are helping with mental health awareness and suicide awareness in his area where he was, Harrogate. So, and from what we saw up there, you know, sort of the news and that, it does look like it is quite a thing up there, you know, like lots of young people are just choosing to end their life, and it's tragic. It's just really tragic, you know. They're taking their life before their lives have really even begun. So yeah, if you have got 50p or £1, I will put the link up, and I would be hugely grateful if you were able to make a donation. Don't have to do it, you know, today. It's going to be there right up until the 2nd of March, so you know, loads amount of time for you to do it if you did want to participate. But thank you again so much for watching. I'll see you next time. We'll come back with the last one, which is Drifting By, which is all the beach houses, sort of retirement feel. So we will go to the beach house next time. Until then, happy crafting. Bye bye.